Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered, am I still beautiful? It's a quiet question many older women ask themselves, often without saying it out loud. As the years pass, compliments become fewer, the glance is shorter, and society subtly suggests that beauty has an expiration date. But what if that's wrong? What if true beauty doesn't fade, it simply transforms? What if your silver hair, laugh lines, and gentle eyes are actually signs of a deeper, more profound beauty that emerges with wisdom, confidence, and grace? Many women don't even realize how attractive they still are because they're looking for the wrong indicators. In today's video, we're going to explore 7 subtle but powerful signs that you are still a beautiful woman, even if no one has told you lately. And maybe, just maybe, by the end of it, you'll see yourself in a whole new light. If you've ever felt invisible or wondered if anyone still sees you, stay with me. What you hear today might just change how you view yourself forever. So let's talk about something that often goes unsaid. Beauty doesn't disappear with age. In fact, many women over 65 carry a quiet, powerful beauty that turns heads without even realizing it. You don't need plastic surgery or to look 30 again. What you need is to recognize the signs, the subtle cues that show you still light up a room, draw people in, and still have that spark that no number can erase. In this video, I'll share 7 clear and heartwarming signs that you are, without a doubt, still a beautiful woman. Whether the mirror hasn't told you lately, or the world has forgotten how to say it. These signs might surprise you, and some might even bring a smile to your face because deep down, you've felt them before but didn't know what they meant. And if you're new here, welcome to Senior Wisdom, a place where your life experience is honored, your voice is heard, and your beauty is celebrated. If you find value in this content, consider subscribing to the channel. Let's dive into the 7 signs that you might be more attractive than you think. 1. People often assume you're younger than you are. One of the clearest and most overlooked signs that you're still a beautiful older woman is when people are genuinely surprised by your age. It might happen in small moments. The nurse at the clinic double-checks your birth date, the cashier looks stunned when they glance at your ID, or a younger neighbor says, "Wait, you're how old? I thought you were in your early 60s." These little moments aren't just flattery. They're windows into how others perceive your appearance, your posture, your energy. They reveal that you carry a kind of youthful beauty that defies the number on your birth certificate. Take Margaret, for example. At 71, a retired librarian, she's often mistaken for someone much younger. Whether at the gym, the grocery store, or on a cruise, people consistently assume she's a decade younger. It's not just her appearance, it's the way she moves, smiles, and holds herself. Margaret doesn't wear heavy makeup or dress to impress. She simply radiates calm confidence, and that in itself is magnetic. Studies show that older adults are often assessed not just by their wrinkles or skin texture, but by their posture, facial expressions, voice tone, and how they carry themselves. Researchers at Boston University found that individuals who maintain good posture, facial expressiveness, and social engagement are often perceived as more attractive and younger than their biological age suggests. This means your beauty might show up in the way you sit, walk, laugh, or connect with others, even if you don't notice it in the mirror. What can you do with this knowledge? First, stop brushing off those compliments. When someone says you don't look your age, don't dismiss it. Instead, smile and say thank you because they're seeing something real. And second, take care of the things that naturally support this inner glow. Drink plenty of water, get restful sleep, stay socially active, and wear colors that flatter your skin tone. These small habits reinforce the vitality people already see in you. Sometimes it's not just about looking young, it's about carrying a presence that makes others feel good in your company. 2. You still turn heads, even if it's subtle. One of the quietest but most telling signs that you're still a beautiful woman is that people notice you when you enter a room. Even if you're not dressed to stand out or the loudest in the room, somehow people still follow your every move for a moment longer than usual. That soft glance, that pause, is the world's subtle way of saying you still have it. Take Carol, for example. At 68, Carol never considered herself striking, But one day at a community luncheon, she noticed several heads turn when she entered the room. A few younger volunteers offered her a seat and smiled warmly. One even leaned in and said, "I hope I age like you someday. You're just lovely." Carol was surprised. She hadn't worn anything special or done anything different with her hair, but she felt at peace with herself that day, and others felt it too. Beauty in older age is often communicated through presence. When a woman walks into a room with poise, kindness in her eyes, and a gentle smile, she becomes impossible to ignore, not because she demands attention, but because she carries something magnetic. Research published in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior shows that people instinctively respond to nonverbal cues like posture, gait, and expression, often without realizing it. A confident stride, relaxed shoulders, and a soft expression all silently broadcast attractiveness and make people take notice. And here's the good news: you don't need designer clothes or a perfect figure to turn heads. Sometimes it's the way your scarf drapes around your shoulders, the elegance in your hands, or the way you genuinely laugh when someone tells a story. These all create an aura that people are drawn to, even if they can't explain why. To nurture this presence, focus on how you feel rather than how you look. Wear what makes you feel graceful, move with intention, and let your natural charm shine through. Now, while turning heads can be subtle and fleeting, there are moments when the signs of your beauty are more direct, and sometimes they come from the most unexpected people. In fact, one of the strongest signals that you're still a beautiful older woman is when complete strangers go out of their way to compliment something about you. Let's talk about that next. 3. Strangers compliment your smile, style, or eyes. Sometimes, the most honest reflections of your beauty come from people who don't know you at all. Strangers have no reason to flatter you. They're not your family, friends, or co-workers. So when someone you've never met compliments your smile, your outfit, or the way your eyes light up, that's not just kindness, it's truth. And it's one of the most authentic signs that you still radiate beauty, even if you've stopped believing it yourself. Take Nancy, for example. At 74, she lives in a quiet suburb with her 2 cats. Every Sunday, she walks to the local farmer's market with her canvas tote and sun hat. One morning, as she stood choosing apples, a young man next to her said, "Excuse me, I just wanted to say you have a beautiful smile. It made my day." Nancy was stunned. She hadn't even realized she'd been smiling, but that small, spontaneous moment stayed with her for days. It wasn't the first time. Over the years, she's heard similar compliments from cashiers, baristas, and even a child in the park who said she looked like a kind queen. These compliments weren't about makeup or perfection. They were about warmth, presence, and something in her face that made others feel good. There's a psychological principle called emotional resonance, which means that people unconsciously respond to the emotional energy someone gives off. When your face is open, relaxed, and sincere, especially when you smile, it lights up mirror neurons in the brain of the person seeing you. That's why we often feel drawn to people who smile naturally or dress with gentle confidence. A study from the University of California showed that people rated strangers with genuine smiles and expressive eyes as more attractive, regardless of age, weight, or facial symmetry. So if you've ever received a compliment on your smile or your eyes, especially from someone who didn't have to say anything at all, that's not just a nice gesture, it's a reflection of the emotional beauty you're radiating. Let's not forget style either. Many older women develop a strong sense of what fits their spirit, whether it's silver bangles, bold lipstick, soft scarves, or vintage blouses. When someone comments on your style, they're not just admiring your clothing. They're responding to the identity, confidence, and thoughtfulness you've woven into how you present yourself. And the best part? Style has no age limit. 4. Other women your age ask about your skincare or hair routine. One of the most flattering and perhaps underrated signs of beauty as an older woman is when other women around your age start asking you questions like, "What moisturizer do you use?" Or, "Who does your hair?" These questions may seem casual, even friendly, but they often come from a deeper place: admiration, curiosity, and sometimes even envy. Take Linda, for example. At 70, she was surprised when a woman at her church asked, "Your skin always looks so smooth. Do you use something special?" Linda shared that she kept her routine simple: a gentle cleanser, a bit of olive oil at night, and sunscreen during the day. But after that conversation, more women started asking about her silver gray bob, her lipstick shade, and her gentle floral perfume. At first, Linda didn't think of herself as particularly stylish or youthful, but over time she realized her quiet self-care wasn't just working, it was inspiring others. This kind of admiration among women carries real weight. As we age, we become more honest, more selective, and more intentional with our attention. So when an older woman compliments another, it's rarely superficial. It's a recognition of the effort behind the beauty. The early mornings, the consistent hydration, the healthy meals, the decision to carry oneself with pride. Psychologists call this mirrored admiration. We seek in others what we hope to bring out in ourselves. When women your age look to you for beauty advice, it means you've become a quiet role model. You don't need a complex routine or to follow the latest beauty trends. What makes women like Linda so attractive is the consistency, self-respect, and naturalness they exude. 5. You're often described as graceful, elegant, or charming. Sometimes people can't quite put their finger on what makes you beautiful, so instead of saying pretty or attractive, they choose words like graceful, elegant, or charming. While these words might sound subtle, they speak volumes about how you're perceived. These are not compliments tossed around lightly. They reflect a lasting impression, the kind that grows stronger with age and depth. Take Eleanor, for example. At 70, she prefers simple pearl earrings, soft cardigans, and classic flats. But whenever she attends family gatherings or community events, people often say, "There's something so graceful about her," or "She's just such an elegant lady." Eleanor used to brush off these compliments, thinking they were just polite words. Over time, she realized that elegance is its own kind of beauty, one that doesn't fade but matures. Gracefulness isn't just about how you walk or sit, it's the way you speak gently, listen fully, and treat others with kindness. Elegance can be found in posture, in thoughtful pauses, and in how you carry yourself when no one's watching. Charm is a spark that never really goes out. It's in the way you smile when meeting someone new, the warmth in your voice when telling stories, and the comfort you offer with nothing but your presence. These qualities deepen with time. They're like fine wine. They don't vanish with age. They become more distinctive. Studies in social psychology show that as we grow older, our brains begin to value emotional intelligence, warmth, and poise as key indicators of attractiveness. That's why someone who might not fit conventional beauty standards in youth can become radiant in older age, because she's learned how to connect, lead with kindness, and move through the world with dignity. So the next time someone describes you with words like graceful or elegant, don't dismiss it. Embrace it. It means you're leaving an impression that touches more than the eye. It touches the heart. And that's a beauty that no wrinkle can erase. But grace and elegance aren't just about appearance or demeanor. Sometimes beauty is recognized through the way others treat you, especially in everyday moments when you least expect it. Let's explore that next. 6. You still receive small acts of chivalry. Sometimes beauty is noticed not through words, but through actions. Small, thoughtful gestures others make when you're in their presence. You may not even think twice about it, but when someone holds the door open for you, offers you their seat, or insists on carrying your groceries to the car, it often says more than 100 compliments. These little acts of kindness are quiet acknowledgments of grace, charm, and continued attractiveness. Let's think about Joanne, for example. At 76, she walks with confidence and has an unmistakable sparkle in her eyes. One morning, she was at her local coffee shop when a young man in his 20s stood up and gave her his seat by the window. She was surprised. She wasn't frail or visibly struggling, but he simply smiled and said, "Please, ma'am, you look like someone who deserves the sunshine." Joanne chuckled at first, But that simple gesture stayed with her all week. It wasn't about her age, it was about her presence. She didn't demand attention, she simply had it. These gestures, pulling out a chair, offering an umbrella, or waiting to let you pass, are often signs of quiet admiration, especially when they come from strangers or younger people. They show that your presence is still commanding, your femininity still apparent. Sociologists call this perceived social value, which is not necessarily tied to physical beauty alone, but to how people feel in your company. When others make space for you physically or emotionally, it reflects the aura you carry. And that aura is built over years of lived experience, self-respect, and how you treat others in return. These moments aren't always grand or dramatic, but they are deeply human. They remind you that you still make an impact just by being you. And while some may say, "Oh, that's just good manners," let's not forget, people don't go out of their way to be courteous to everyone. If they're doing it for you, it means they notice something, and that something might just be beauty in its quietest, most respectful form. 7. You feel comfortable in your own skin. Perhaps the most beautiful sign of all, and the one no mirror can ever fully capture, is when you've reached a point in life where you feel genuinely comfortable in your own skin. It's the quiet confidence that comes from no longer chasing perfection, no longer needing to impress, and no longer apologizing for who you are. This kind of self-assurance doesn't scream, it doesn't try too hard, it simply is, and that makes it radiant. Take Mary Ann, for example. At 73, she used to struggle with self-image. In her 40s, she worried about her weight. In her 50s, it was her laugh lines. By her 60s, she feared becoming invisible. But something shifted in her early 70s. One morning, as she was brushing her hair, she looked in the mirror and smiled. Not because she thought she looked young again, but because she finally saw a woman she respected. That morning, she put on her favorite blue blouse, some rose lipstick, and walked to the park. She greeted neighbors, complimented strangers, and sat by the fountain feeling completely herself. "I didn't realize how free I could feel," she said. "I didn't need anyone to tell me I looked good. I just knew it." This level of self-acceptance is magnetic. According to studies in positive psychology, people are naturally drawn to individuals who display authenticity. Researchers have found that self-accepting individuals are often perceived as more attractive, not because of symmetry or youth, but because of how at ease they are in their bodies and personalities. That ease sends a clear message. I know who I am, and I like who I've become. And there's nothing more beautiful than that. This doesn't mean you never have insecurities or off days, we all do. But when you carry yourself without shame, when you show up as your full self, people respond, not to the surface, but to your spirit. The twinkle in your eye when you talk about your garden, the warmth in your voice when you speak to your grandchildren, the strength in your posture as you walk into a room. These are all signs of a woman who's grown into her beauty, instead of away from it. So if you wake up most mornings feeling at peace, if you can laugh at yourself, dance in your kitchen, or look in the mirror without judgment, that's a sign, a powerful one. You are beautiful. And more importantly, you know it. Now that we've uncovered all 7 signs, let's take a moment to breathe, reflect, and truly absorb what they mean. Because your beauty is real, your presence matters, and your journey deserves to be honored. Let's wrap this up together with a heartfelt reminder just for you. If you're still watching right now, that means this message is resonating with you. Why not drop a comment with the number 6 inches below? It lets me know you're here. And don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss our next heartfelt video. So, let's reflect on everything we've uncovered together today. Maybe you've noticed that people often assume you're younger than your actual age. And that's not just luck. That's presence. Perhaps you still turn a few heads, even in the most ordinary moments, and you didn't realize what a gift that is. Maybe strangers have told you they love your smile, or complimented your style without any reason except genuine admiration. Other women, your peers, have asked how you care for your skin or style your hair because they quietly look up to you. You've been described as graceful, elegant, charming, words that carry more weight than pretty ever could. You've received small gestures of kindness, like doors being held or seats being offered, because people feel something warm and special in your presence. And most importantly, you've come to a place where you feel truly comfortable in your own skin. And that's the most powerful kind of beauty there is. You may not have seen these signs before, or perhaps you brush them off, but today, you see them for what they are. Real, living proof that your beauty hasn't disappeared. It's evolved. And here's the best part. Every single one of these things can grow stronger, starting today, with a little more awareness, a little more self-care, and a whole lot of self-love. You can step into the next chapter of your life glowing from the inside out. If this video touched your heart, I'd love to hear from you. Share one thing that resonated with you today. Maybe a moment when you recognized yourself, or something you'd forgotten to appreciate. I read every comment, and your words truly mean the world to me. Thank you for spending this time with me. Your presence, your wisdom, and your beauty, they matter more than you know. If you found comfort or encouragement here today, consider subscribing and sharing this video with another beautiful woman who might need to hear this too. Until next time, take care of yourself, gently, patiently, and with the same kindness you give to others. You are seen, you are valued, you are deeply loved.